Thomas Edison failed at building a working light bulb hundreds of times. Alexander Graham Bell couldn't even remember how many attempts it took before the telephone finally worked. Both men were asked later what actually separated them from everyone else who tried and gave up. Neither of them said talent. Neither of them said luck. They said something almost nobody expects. They had trained their mind to work like a weapon instead of letting it run wild like an untrained animal. Here's the part that should stop you cold. Most people believe their mind is just something that happens to them. Thoughts arrive, feelings arrive, and you simply react. Edison and Bell operated from a completely different premise. They believed the mind could be owned, directed, and controlled with the same precision you'd use to aim a rifle. And once you understand how they actually did it, you're going to realize why most people never achieve what they're capable of. Not because they lack ability, but because they've never once tried to control the machine doing all the deciding. Remember this phrase: own your mind or it will own you. Everything in this video builds toward that one sentence. This comes from Napoleon Hill's lesser-known work, How to Own Your Own Mind, built on interviews with some of the most successful men of his era, including Edison, Bell, and steel magnate Andrew Carnegie. And it starts with a concept most people have heard the word for, but never actually understood: creative vision. Most people assume this belongs to artists and inventors, some rare gift you either have or don't. Carnegie disagreed completely. He argued creative vision is simply the ability to recognize an opportunity and act on it before the moment passes. And that skill runs on one resource everyone already has access to: imagination. Here's where it gets specific. Because imagination isn't one thing, it comes in two distinct forms. The first is synthetic imagination, taking ideas that already exist and rearranging them into something new. Edison didn't invent electricity. He didn't invent the concept of a lamp. Both already existed before him. What he did was notice that lamps burned out because the metal filament couldn't survive the heat for long, and he combined that existing problem with an entirely different existing material, charcoal, which could withstand heat far longer. Two old ideas, recombined, became the light bulb that changed the world. Almost nothing you consider original is actually original. It's old pieces rearranged by someone willing to look at them differently. The second form is creative imagination, when something genuinely new arrives, seemingly from nowhere. Ask Edison where the idea to use charcoal actually came from, and even he couldn't fully explain it. Ask any songwriter where their best lyric came from, and you'll get the same answer: it just arrived. This is the type of imagination you can't force directly, but you can build the conditions that make it more likely to show up. And those conditions come down to 5 specific principles. First, definiteness of purpose. You need to be brutally clear about what you're actually trying to achieve, not vaguely clear, specifically clear. A fuzzy target produces fuzzy effort. Second, what Hill called the mastermind principle, surrounding yourself with people working toward a shared goal, because ideas multiply in a room full of aligned minds far faster than they do in isolation. Third, going the extra mile. Genuine passion for something naturally stretches your imagination further than obligation ever will. The person who loves what they're doing sees possibilities the person just clocking in never will. Fourth, applied faith. Belief, sustained long enough to survive the inevitable setbacks, has fueled nearly every major achievement in recorded history, regardless of what that belief was rooted in. Fifth, organized individual effort, a direct, deliberate attempt to create something. The same disciplined approach Edison used again and again until charcoal finally worked inside that lamp.
Here's a question almost nobody has ever actually asked themselves. How do you think? Not what do you think about, how does your mind actually process information, moment to moment, without you noticing? Hill argued there are two ways your thoughts get organized: inductive reasoning, where you draw conclusions from incomplete information. The sky looks dark, so you grab an umbrella. And deductive reasoning, built on facts you already know for certain. Peter is a bachelor because he is, factually, unmarried. The danger sitting between both of these is opinion, and Hill was ruthless about this. Opinions, unlike facts, are usually built on bias, incomplete information, or someone else's unexamined assumption passed off as certainty. An organized mind doesn't reject opinions outright, it interrogates them. It asks where the opinion actually came from, whether it's built on verified fact, and whether the source has any reason to be biased before accepting a single word of it. This applies just as much to the news you consume, the advice your friends give you, and, this is the uncomfortable part, the opinions you've been repeating to yourself about your own life for years without ever checking if they were actually true. Building this kind of organized thinking requires something Hill called controlled habits, because knowing what you should think differently about means nothing without the discipline to actually rewire the pattern. Think of your mind like a camera with no operator. Left uncontrolled, it captures everything: gossip, outrage, trivial noise, other people's fear, indiscriminately, because nobody told it what to focus on. A controlled mind operates like a photographer who knows exactly what they're looking for, capable of finding the one thing that matters inside a cluttered, chaotic scene. You build that control through repetition, both physical and mental. Physical repetition means actually doing the behavior you want to become automatic over and over until it requires no willpower to execute. Mental repetition means something people underestimate constantly: deliberate, repeated self-talk. A psychologist named Emil Coué built an entire method around one simple sentence his patients repeated daily. Day by day, in every way, I am getting better and better. It sounds almost too simple to matter. Hill argued that anyone who understands how much repeated thought actually shapes belief would never dismiss it as foolish.
There's a second layer beyond controlled habits that Hill considered even more powerful, something he called mental dynamite: controlled attention. This runs on 5 factors working together: definiteness of purpose, so you know exactly what you're aiming at; self-discipline, so fear and doubt don't hijack the process halfway through; controlled attention itself, the actual act of directing your focus toward that purpose and refusing to let it wander; auto-suggestion, deliberately feeding your mind possible paths forward instead of waiting passively for one to appear; and willpower, the stubborn refusal to quit when the first, second, or fifth attempt fails. Edison, when asked directly what mattered most in invention, described exactly this process: define what you want with total clarity. Immerse yourself so completely in the work that failure and impossibility stop registering as real options. Stay so locked onto the goal that distractions simply lose their pull. And here's the sentence from Edison that should sit with you longer than anything else in this video. Most people fail before they even begin because they convince themselves of their own limitations before they've made a single real attempt. The failure isn't in the trying, it's in the mental surrender that happens before trying ever starts. Carnegie took this idea and applied it somewhere most people wouldn't expect: specialization. He believed controlled attention reaches its full power when it's aimed at one specific target instead of scattered across a dozen half-hearted pursuits. When he built his steel empire, every ounce of his mental focus went into steel, not a broad, diffused ambition to succeed in business generally, but a specific, narrow, relentless focus on one industry until he mastered it completely. This doesn't mean variety is worthless. Even industries built on diversity, retail, corporate structures with dozens of departments, still function because each individual piece has its own specialist,
Someone whose controlled attention is aimed entirely at that one function. The company succeeds broadly because no single person is trying to master everything at once.
If you don't yet know what you should specialize in, Hill's answer isn't to panic. It's to get intentional about how you spend your time and attention while you figure it out. Because clarity about your larger purpose in life tends to reveal the right specialization eventually, even if the path isn't a straight line. Changing direction later isn't wasted time either. Every skill picked up along the way – communication, discipline, working with people – transfers forward, whether or not the original path was the final one. So here's how you actually use everything in this video, starting today. First, get brutally specific about your definiteness of purpose. Not, "I want to be successful." What exactly are you building, and by when? Second, start interrogating your own opinions the same way you'd interrogate a stranger's. Where did this belief about yourself actually come from? Is it fact, or is it just something you've repeated so many times it started to feel true? Third, pick one mental repetition and use it daily, even if it feels awkward at first. Your mind believes what it hears repeated consistently, whether that repetition is working for you or against you. Fourth, find the one area where narrowing your focus instead of spreading it thin would actually move the needle. Controlled attention beats scattered effort every single time. Edison failed hundreds of times before the light bulb worked. Bell couldn't even count his failed attempts before the telephone finally transmitted sound. Neither of them was smarter than everyone else who tried and quit. They simply refused to let their own mind talk them out of trying one more time. You already have the same mind they had. The only question left is whether you're going to keep letting it run wild or finally start owning it. If this hit you the way it hit me, tell me the one thought pattern you're taking control of starting today in the comments below. I read every single one. Stay with us